Fáilte Baile Gean, Cumrao and Jew. That's good. Welcome to the township. How are you all today? This township is from 1700. The village you'll see around you was excavated in 1990 and recreated here 1996 to 2006. We have 4 buildings, 4 houses and 4 outbuildings. The long house belongs to the tack man. He's renting the tack of land unmeasured from the clan chief, but he'll never own it. So to make money, he sublets it. The other houses you see in the background are his tenants. They're renting the land from him, but a subsistence farming, so it's not money. Ideally, he wants money, but he's not getting it. So it's their harvest, their cattle, their hunting and gathering, their craft work, and they work for him and the clan chief to pay off the rent. The big house can hold 15 to 20 people. It has a byre for cattle, goats, sheep, hens, dogs. The door's low to let the cows out and in, but keep the cold out. There's no chimneys, air vents, fire doors or windows. The smoke is kept in the roof to cure the meat and the fish. That keeps the lice, the mice and rats out of it. And you sit down on the little creepy chairs, like the one you see outside the door, to keep your head below the smoke. You don't walk around in it. It's kind of like hibernation over the winter. So here we are. In 1700 there was no spinning wheels. We used a whirl. A whirl is a stone on a stick. You get much better momentum from it. If you keep the wool moving quickly, the spindle will move quickly. If you slow down, the spindle will slow down. We're using lamb's wool today. Once we have this spool finished, we'll wind it off. We'll get another hank on board. We'll twist it together the same way but the opposite way around, and then we dye it. And the way we dye it is blaeberry. Blaeberry is under the forest blanket. It's a blackberry. When you squish it open, it's kind of blue inside. Put it in the iron pot, boil it for a couple of hours, take the wool out, put a teaspoon of cream of tartar in it, give it a stir, drop the wool back in, and it sets it. Nice blue. The yellow is ragwort. Ragwort here, the Highlanders call it Stinking Willie. It's because of the Duke of Cumberland. He went around killing everybody after the Culloden War. And we got a good yellow from it, but you add urine to this, so it's nice and smelly. And what happens was, you wove it with the urine still in it, and it was walked to shrink it, set the dye, and you wore it like that. So everybody smelt the same. There was no separation, even the nobles. This is oak bark. This is the second dip. If you get a first dip, it could be darker brown. Now this is lighter. Then this is the tar, the peat tar off the peat, stuck to the bottom of the pot. If you just scrape it off, put it in the pot, the iron pot will fix the colour and it goes green. Yeah. So we're using lamb's wool today. Yeah. So,
my name's Catherine. I work at the Highland Folk Museum, and this is what it's like in the 1730s in Scotland, in the Highlands. So you would be dressed like myself. So we've got a linen apron, a woolen skirt, which goes right the way down to the ankles. You wouldn't have any shoes on in the 1730s, even if you were around in your house or outside, out and about. Because they cost quite a lot to make and they take quite a lot of time to produce. So you would just let your feet toughen up as you go, and that would be a lot more cost and time effective. A lot of your spare time would be spent making things such as this. This is rope. It's made of reeds. And the tighter and the more fine the twist that you can get, the stronger the rope. So the more skilled a maker, the better for making rope, because you want it to be strong. Rope in the past is something that you could make when you have a bit of spare time. So you're always busy And if you made enough rope, you can use it to secure the thatching of your house, or to make an animal harness or a belt if you can't afford one made of leather or a different material such as wool. So women of the household in the past, they were quite busy. Often you had several children under one roof, and life was quite harsh. So those kids would have to go out and about with you when you're out in the fields, when you're ploughing the fields. Sometimes you would be drop spindling at the same time, which is a form of spinning the wool, but without a spinning wheel, such as Marion demonstrated earlier. And you would also be cooking as well. So inside the house you have a huge pot, and you would just pop in everything that you can into the pot, and you'd forget about it until dinner time. And that's a Scotch broth. So there's 3 different types of rope that you could make in the past. The first one you could make from reeds. Once it's dried it looks like this, but when it's freshly made it's brown. And reeds are quite smooth and strong, and they're quite easy to work with, so it's good for beginners. The second one that you can make is you can make it out of straw. As you can see, it looks a little more rough around the edges, but it's still quite strong, and it's easy to get as well. You can make it out of scraps. The last one is heather rope. So this one, it's very woody. It's quite difficult to twist with your hands. You have to be quite strong. But heather rope lasts a really long time, and it also floats as well. So anything to do with water, heather rope's your thing.